Hello Libras, and welcome back to Deku Tarot and to your weekly tarot reading for June 15th to the 21st of 2020, last week of fellow air sign Gemini season. Let's talk a little bit about the astrology. We have, I think maybe now over 6 planets in retrograde, all in June, in the middle of eclipse season as well. And we can throw Mercury into the mix there. Mercury is retrograding from, the 17th through July, correct me if I'm wrong, 12th, I think, and it's retrograding in Cancer, so that's going to bring up a lot of repressed emotions to be dealt with, going to bring up our relationship and our attachments to money and how we might need to reevaluate some areas of work and financial, and it does all the, the normal Mercury retrograde things like making people speak weird, not being able to communicate, kind of missing. It's almost like two ships passing in the night, almost, when you're trying to communicate during Mercury retrograde. You're kind of missing the point. You both have a point, and it might be fine if they were to reach each other, but they're not, and it's difficult. So let's get into this here. All right, with the tarot now. All right, Libra. And we also have Venus, your ruling planet, retrograding as well. So for you in Taurus, it's an especially great time. All right, Libra, June 15th. I almost said July to the 21st. If I did say July earlier, I apologize. Oh, okay. Okay. Libra. Ooh. Wow. I really like this. This is like a breakthrough week for a lot of people, man. Big energies right now. And again, it might be more than a weekly with the craziness of the energy right now. But wow. We get the 5 of Cups as your first card. This is the Gustav Klimt tarot. I probably should have clarified that if you're wondering. Gustav Klimt. The 5 of Cups is here, and that's your first card out. And I really love the 5 of Cups in this deck, just because it feels like he's unmasking pain. He's unmasking where he's been upset. The mask is off, and now we can face it. And we can now look at the 2 cups, opportunity to right wrongs, opportunity to move on, and even love oneself if you have hit a wall where maybe you're questioning this, or you're looking at some deep self, how do I describe this? A lack of self-love in some respects here. And that's kind of the feeling I get here, especially with the Queen of Cups reversed. When I see her reversed, there's a lot of, let's just get another card first. How do I describe her? She's just feeling very emotionally off right now. We'll just say that. When she is reversed, there is, I don't know, it just feels to me like it's the emotions that we haven't faced, the areas of our life that we have been maybe emotionally manipulating ourselves in some ways. Yeah, 5 of Swords reversed. Where, in terms of losses, in terms of areas where maybe somebody has fought us and won, or that we are perceiving as that. But the 5 of Swords always denotes some type of battle and some type of moment of really loss, of pain, of dishonor, of maybe even humiliation for some of you, and we could be feeling emotionally repentant for that. There's emotions that are percolating up to the surface, and it's a little bit turbulent there is how I feel, and we might not be wanting to talk about it with a lot of people. 5 of Cups and 5 of Swords reverse. I don't know, it feels very internal that you're working through these issues of pain, but 5s are moments of contention and change. They're moments of it's, the breakthrough moment. It's where we're at our hardest point, where we have to come up against something, other people, an idea, or even really difficult parts of ourselves to come up against, and deeply held pain, deeply held loss that we have maybe never understood and need to work through. And in the center of your reading here, we get 2 really beautiful cards right next to each other, the Hierophant and the Sun. And that shows so much growth. It shows so much grounded, understanding, spiritual growth as well, because the Hierophant does bring about the more traditional terms of spirit rather than the High Priestess, which is all inside of you and your higher self and the mysteries and the Divine Feminine. Well, not Divine Feminine exactly, but she is the keeper of your internal secrets, the keeper of your, she's your higher self. There's really not many other ways to describe her. Well, there's a lot, but the Hierophant is the more grounded sense of that. The learned consciousness, the learned knowledge, the more traditionally learned knowledge that is grounded in reality, that is grounded in larger systems that are in place here. And we're seeing something about that with the sun. And what I find really interesting there, I love the sun, because the sun is happiness, joy. It's liberation. It might be liberation from the traditional and how maybe the traditional has hurt you. Ooh, yep, that's it, because you know what just flung itself out here? The Hermit. You got some major arcanas this week. You guys this lately. And as I looked up at the clock, because as it records, it gives me the time signature. It was 555. This is your moment of change, Libra. The Hermit is right in the middle of the Hierophant and the Sun. It's going within to seek out deeper knowledge, to really look at things from a detached perspective. If you detach yourself from the ideologies, from what you've learned, from what people have just told you and told you was right, and you know that society said was right, and you step back and you really look at things from your own perspective, and maybe how this relates to loss and how it relates to this feelings of sadness, of being empty for some of you. Empty, lost, and emotionally, I don't want to say depraved, I don't think that's the right word, but deprived of self-love because of this. And it's like the Hermit's like, whoa, I need to I got to sit here and think with all this because this is a lot coming up. And so I do feel it's a very internalized week for you where you need to take the time to work through all of this. Because when the Hermit shows up, there is so much that you have to really learn here in terms of knowledge. And it takes the noise, the distractions, the opinions of others, and just says, I'm actually ready to look within instead. That's great, but I'm ready to look within. I'm ready to move forward in a different kind of way here. And Temperance comes up as well at the very end. It's tempering the Six of Cups reverse. Wow, it really just feels like a disillusionment. I wish I could go back to what was. I wish I could go back to this comfortable place. I wish things could just right themselves to the point where they used to be so I could just be comfortable with it. But it's like, no, this is a time of learning. And I think that you're learning that you can't do that anymore. And that we can't be so attached to the past and the comfort of it. Uranus is in Taurus as well. You have to remember that too. We can't hold on to the earth too tightly right now. And you can't find maybe the grounding that you're looking for, because when Uranus is in Taurus, nothing is going to stay as it should be and as it has been rooted, grounded, and traditionally has been. It's just not going to be that way. And Temperance brings this really beautiful integration of spirit and body, integration of understanding of knowledge here, and integrates it with your spiritual knowledge. And it also is, it's adaptation. We have to put in a little bit more of this. We have to put in a little bit more love. We have to put in a little bit more understanding. It's not all the air aspects that we have to look at anymore. There's a lot of water here. There's some earth here. There's a lot of water here. And again, with the Hierophant and the Sun, you've got quite a lot of understanding that you're coming into, and that you're stepping away almost in the more air-minded senses to things. And that's kind of as you enter Cancer season, I think more towards the end of this week and into Cancer season, because this doesn't even feel like just a weekly with all these big energy cards here. This is big. It's liberation, it's understanding, it's growth and knowledge, but you're doing it. You're putting in that work. It's just towards something different. It's towards new views, new understandings, and a breaking away from the past. And it's beautiful. Let's pull a couple of these Les Tarot des Erotiques cards, Femmes Erotiques cards. They're got hips and nips, so if you got a problem with it, maybe don't watch this part, but I really like these cards. And they're kind of been working almost as oracle cards, so we're going to go with it. The Libra this week. Libra. Wow. How do I do this? Let's just take that one, then we're going to pull out another. Hold on. There's one more. That wants to come out. What is it? It's you. You really want to come out. Okay. You are moving forward on these new paths of understanding, knowledge, and where you're driving your spirit, the Novice. But it does have you leaving love to do so. You're leaving a situation that you maybe have grown comfortable with, but, emotionally, it was not satisfying to stay there. It wasn't satisfying for your fulfillment to be where you were, so it's time to move on. We're leaving a certain aspect of ourselves behind here because it hasn't given us much. It's only kind of taken from us when we looked at it this week. And the novice says, let's move forward for this reason, for this purpose. Let's courageously take our fire and what we're thinking and saying and doing and our energy and drive it towards wherever the heck it is that we're now want to move towards. This new knowledge, this new understanding, this new message. So it's really, really beautiful. The messages these past couple weeks have been so deep. I hope you enjoyed that, my lovely Libras. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. Check me out over on Instagram at Deku Tarot. And if you want to book a private reading, guys, all that information is right below this video in the description box, along with the information to get 30% off on Truly Divine. It's amazing numerology and astrology compatibility reports. They're just incredible, so definitely check them out. You can use my code DEKU30 as many times as you want. Share it with as many people as you want. And all that info is also in the description box, okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful and blessed week. Namaste.